Each time these monks had a meal, they had to jump across floating wooden planks over water. The monks ahead of him crossed effortlessly. On his first day at the temple, he thought it would be easy, but as soon as he stepped onto the wood, he lost his balance and fell into the water. After climbing out, he hurried toward the dining hall, but was stopped at the entrance by a senior monk, who said he couldn't enter with wet clothes. He had no choice but to remove his clothes to dry. By the time he put them back on and entered the hall, the senior monks had finished all the rice. Suddenly, he noticed rice in another container nearby, and prepared to serve himself. But he didn't know this area was reserved for the masters. As punishment, the master made him stand on the floating wood. If he could maintain his balance, he could eat that bowl of rice, but he couldn't stay steady, and fell into the water pool once again. The next day, he tried to sneak into the dining hall by climbing over the wall, but was caught in the act by the master. Facing the mockery of the senior monks, he vowed to prove himself. That night, he found 2 wooden barrels, and practiced balancing while jumping between them as they rolled. After failing time and again, he increased the barrel's rolling speed to maximum, and jumped back and forth between them. Eventually, he could stand firmly on the rolling barrels. The next day, the senior monks were ready to mock him again, but to their surprise, he gently placed one foot on the floating wood, and performed difficult aerial movements, while easily crossing over the water pool below. The master nodded with satisfaction. Then the master increased the difficulty, by breaking the plank into separate wooden strips. Even the monk with the best lightness skills couldn't cross it. He tried to jump across, but failed just like everyone else. They jumped from daylight until evening, with no one able to make it across. The master then began teaching them the technique. He asked the man to throw a bowl into the water. Watching the bowl sink to the bottom, the master explained that when throwing the bowl, his force was directed downward. This was just like their attempts to jump across the wood. Since the wood had limited buoyancy, the harder they jumped, the faster the wood sank. The master then took a bowl, and threw it diagonally across the water's surface, successfully landing it on the opposite shore. The man understood the master's meaning. While the senior monk slept, he practiced by the pool. Even though he fell into the water again and again, he never gave up. Finally, after countless failures, he successfully jumped to the other side. At that moment, the master walked up behind him, and told him he had passed the test.